Hello everybody, this will be a really short video on the weBoost Connect 4G, formerly Wilson's Electronics. And we'll go over the gains and see what you think. Before we get started with the testing today, let's just take a peek outside and see what we're working with. We got the outdoor antenna, which is about 5 foot off the ground. It's raining, heavily cloudy out, of course. The leaves are in full bloom, and we're 3.85 miles from the nearest cell phone antenna, which is on the interstate at a rest area. So there's probably a whole bunch of people using that at once right now. And at the antenna, it's negative 97 dBm on the cell phone. Let's get some testing done. Okay, this is the phone directly sitting on the inside antenna, which is best case scenario. Right now the booster is not on, and it's about 110 dB. So let's go plug in the booster and see what happens. Okay, the booster is plugged in and it should be going down. Negative 50 is considered perfect. So anything below that, I'm not sure what to think about it, but it's sitting at negative 45 from negative 110. So that's a huge improvement, and that is on LTE on Verizon. And let's see how it does once we move away from the antenna. Here's our second test area. We're about 8 feet away from the antenna on the opposite side of which it's broadcasting. So we've lost about 40 dB within about 8 feet. And we'll move on to our next area. And here's our next test area. We're about 30 feet from the antenna right now, off to its right side, so it's not a direct line of sight, but we're about 30 feet away. And right here where it's at, we generally have 3G or we lose signal completely. Right now we have 4G, which is really good. And on to our next area. This is our next area. We're about 10 foot in front of the indoor antenna with a wall between us. And on to the next area. We're back at our third area right now, about 30 feet or so from the antenna, but this time the indoor antenna is pointed straight towards it. And it looks like we've gained 2 dB from when it was not pointed towards it. So the antenna isn't real directional, which is a good thing. Okay, this portion of the video we're going to do some speed tests with and without the booster, and the phone is sitting right on the indoor antenna. So this would be best case scenario generally. We'll start the test right now, and the booster is currently unplugged. And the phone's currently in 4G. So we got 88 millisecond ping, which is about normal. 2.77 megabit download and 0.24 megabit upload, which is pretty terrible for 4G. Let's see what happens when we plug in the booster. Okay, the booster's plugged in. Give it a second to figure out what it's doing. And let's try the speed test again. And we see a huge improvement on the download. And an equally impressive improvement on the upload. So there you go, there's a huge improvement. That's sitting right up against the indoor antenna, but it'll improve everywhere else. I did some testing on the second floor, and it doesn't seem to reach up there very well. But the outside starting dB is only about -97, which doesn't give it too much to work with. Okay, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.